Velcome, a very scary book by Kevin O'Malley. Do not enter. Be very, very afraid.
Gee, there's Fred. Too bad, huh? Nah, he never shared at picnics.
Tonight I will be sharing with you some of my favorite scary stories. Stories so creepy, so terrifying, you may have trouble sleeping. So if you're the kind of person who hears bumps in the night or who dreads putting a hand over the edge of the bed, I suggest you read no further. Warning, this is the most intelligent part of this whole book. Velcome, written and illustrated by Kevin O'Malley. Our first story takes place in a quiet little village not far from where you live. A young man, very much like yourself, was turning from soccer practice one evening. A fall wind was whipping through the trees. It seemed to call the boy's name. Freddy, 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 Freddy. As Freddy walked home, he passed a graveyard. A cold chill ran down his spine. Suddenly, Freddy heard a thumping sound behind him. He turned to see a coffin following him up the road. Freddy walked a little faster, and the coffin bumped a little faster. Whoa! Freddy started to run. The coffin followed, getting closer and closer. Freddy raced to his house and slammed the door behind him. He could hear the coffin bumping at the door. The bumping got louder and louder until suddenly the coffin came crashing through the door. Freddy raced up the stairs. The coffin went bumping along right after him. What would Freddy do? Freddy raced to his room and got a small box. He raced back to the stairs. The coffin got closer and closer. Freddy took out a cough drop out of the box and threw it at the coffin, and the coffin stopped. I saw you. You were scared, weren't you? No, well, you will be. Listen to me. You should stop reading now. Just read the next story. There was a young girl alone in her apartment. She was supposed to be doing her chores, but instead she was watching TV. Suddenly, the phone rang. Hello? She said. I'm the Viper and I'm coming up, said the voice. Quickly, the girl hung up the phone. A few minutes later, the phone rang again. I'm the Viper. I'm coming up, said the voice. The young girl was more than a little worried. She decided not to answer the phone again. When the telephone rang for the third time, she let the answering machine pick it up. I'm the Viper. I'm coming up. I'm almost there, said the voice. The young girl was positively terrified. The moment the caller hung up, she called the police. He says he's the Viper and he's coming up, she sobbed. Shall I go on? Maybe you're too scared. No? Okay. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. The young girl went to answer. Slowly she turned the doorknob. Slowly she opened the door. There was a little man with a bucket in his hand. The young girl screamed, and the little man said, What are you screaming about? I'm the Viper. I've come to wash and wipe your windows. I'm trying to wipe this whole thing from my brain. Why don't we take a little break? I know how terrified you must be. Maybe you need a little warm milk to calm yourself down. I will entertain you with some jokes.
Mommy, can I play with little brother?
Absolutely not. You've already dug him up 3 times this week.
Mommy, what's a vampire?
Just eat your blood, dear, before it clots. What's grosser than gross? Eating a bowl of rice, and the last piece crawls out. What did one tonsil say to the other tonsil? Put on your hat and coat. The doctor's taking us out today. You go into the bathroom, American. You come out of the bathroom, American. What are you in the bathroom? European. Those last couple of jokes weren't very scary, I think. Forgive me if I make you laugh. Now let's get back to some more scary stories. Let's not and say we did. This one I call The Rapping. Once on the edge of town there was a house, a haunted house. People tried to live there, but the rapping sound that came from the house drove them crazy. One day a boy came to live in the haunted house. He heard the rapping. He followed the sound up the stairs, around the corner, down the hall, into his room. The rapping got louder and louder and louder. Slowly he opened the closet door. I guess it's no use telling you not to turn the page, huh? He found a roll of brown wrapping paper! Brown wrapping paper, now that was scary, wouldn't you agree? You're laughing? Well, we will see just how much you laugh at what I'm about to show you. This picture is so horrible, you had better call your mommy. You will need her. This guy's about 3 feet short of a yard. A plate of mixed vegetables! Now that I've scared you out of your pants, I will scare you out of your skin with this. Your report card! Finally, I will tell you a story so terrible, so horrible you won't be able to sleep tonight. It's called Didja. She was alone, all alone. The sound of the storm shook her house. The lightning lit up the sky. She was alone, all alone, and curled up on the couch when suddenly, kaboom! All the lights went out. She was alone, all alone in the dark. The rain poured down like hammers. The lightning made strange shapes and shadows. She heard a sound, quiet at first, then louder. Knock, knock. Who is it? She whispered, but there was no answer. The wind whipped the trees. The branches cracked against her house. And then she heard it again. Knock, knock. Someone or something was at the door. She pulled herself from the couch. Her knees quaked. Who is it? She asked. Didja, said a voice all drippy and deep. Did you what? Says the girl, her voice just above a whisper. But there was no answer. She was alone, all alone, and the sound of the wind was driving her mad, when she heard it again. Knock, knock! Who's there? She screamed. Didja, called the voice. Didja who? She asked, her voice racked with terror. And then, in a deep and booming voice, she heard a reply she would never forget as long as she lived. Did you order a pizza? Come on, I'm soaking wet out here. I can't take it anymore. This is the end.
You know, Jean, the flies don't taste as good as they did when I was a kid.
I'm out of this nut house.